Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how we work and use the Keyline 303. This is going to be a high security, a sidewinder, or a laser cut manual machine. It's going to do things like the Honda and other keys like that. Uses for your Lexus, your Hondas, your GM flips. So let's look at key points that we need to pay attention to. We have our jaw. We can tighten and loosen. You always want to make sure it's clean. So before you start, clean. Make sure there's no chips in there. Clean, clean, clean. Clean off the edge, clean off the back. Also for the joints, clean. And you can use WD-40 as needed to remove any rust if you're in the elements. Now, the knobs down here really don't need to pay attention. Just make sure they're not too loose, they fall out, or too tight, because it does restrict the motion. Down here, you're gonna have your extra bits. If you need bits, order them. You need them for the 2.5 mil, the 1.5 mil, or the 2 mil to cut some of those extra tracers as well. You can order extra cut plates and tip stops. Very important. You keep everything in stock. Now, when we look at how the machine works, we have left and right, forward and back. We also have up, down. So what we want to do is first look at how to calibrate. Calibration is going to find that happy medium of matching. So if one's higher, one's lower, it's going to be too deep. We have the tracer and we have the cutter. The whole goal of this is make sure they're even. So when you're cutting a new key to match the customer's key, you make the same thing. If you have this too deep, it's going to be too thin and it will damage your cut through. If you have it too high, it's not going to cut deep enough and it's going to be too thick. It won't go in the door or the ignition. It'll cause serious damage to the components of the vehicle. So a quick way we can check the calibration is, let me explain a little more when it comes to this knob. We have the calibration lights up here. Green means good, but then you have red on the left and red on the right. So without any keys, I'm going to use this section here to check the calibration. So I'm going to pull down, hit the red button on the back side to calibrate. I'm going to tap. Right now the red arrow is on the right side. So if I look and I bring my eyes down, I see that it's not touching here, but the tracers or the cutting is touching. So I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the knob towards the red arrow side. I'm going to turn it just a little and pull down. I'm still pulling and it lifts up. Cool. And I lift up and I pull down. So now it's going to be a little on the red. I pull down and I pull it maybe half a pound or more, and now it's green. That's good. So what I did is I just adjusted. Now you're going to notice that there's some orange duct tape here. So what I did is I put a ring where it overlaps about 10% of it all the way around and 10% overlap. So it's much more tension so it doesn't travel or move with time. We're only adjusting calibration for a Honda GM key. So all I have to do is move just a smidge. You don't need to lock it in place. Don't glue it. Now also, pay attention to the tracer. If I move this, there's gonna be this little knob. Let me raise up. So this little knob here. So if I turn the silver, see the little knob there, it will drop down and now everything's shifted. So now if I, without changing this, pull down, it is way off. I have like 1/8 of an inch difference. And if I adjust it, it's not gonna work. So what I need to do is lift this up. See how it drops down? This is one of those things where I don't know why it's like that. It's just, it's interesting. We also use our Allen keys to remove, to change out the tracer and the cutter. So now if we want to go back and check calibration, always hit the red button. So it's still calibrated just by changing that depth, but the fine adjustment did not move because I put that tape on there. Cool, nice. So now if I want to cut a Honda key, I'm going to use my key stop. I'm going to stick a key in here and I'm going to press forward and down. So my finger is, I'm aiming to push here. So I want to push, so forward and down. And now I'm going to put the key spacer there and I'm going to put the other one in there. These are just sample keys. Push forward and down and I'm going to hand tighten. A way to test is wiggle. This one's going to be loose. I need to tighten it again. So hand tighten. This one is nice and tight. It's not going to come out. You can use a pair of pliers But if you do, add duct tape so you don't damage this. This is from the previous person, bless their heart. But use duct tape so you can have a little more force to tighten in case your hands are not strong. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera back down a smidge more. And I'm going to throw the calibration off a little. So I'm going to adjust up here and just kind of mess it up and start again so I can show you. So this is going to be the customer's key. It's already cut. This is going to be a blank key. It's not cut. So I'm going to do is I'm going to red button, calibrate. So it's going to be red on the left, on the right side. So I'm going to do is I'm going to turn towards. Okay, now it's green. Now I'm going to lift up and it goes red, then green. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to look at the tracer side and also listen and watch. So I'm going to check in the middle. One, it's red, green. Whoa, now it's red down here. So I'm going to adjust. I'm going to turn a little towards that. Okay, now it's red, green, but it's on the wrong side and it's red, green. So not sure what happened there. I'm going to turn a little more and let's check. So since I'm getting here, here, and here, all three different variations, I'm able to figure out that there's either some sort of debris on here, or I have calibrated wrong, or the key itself is dented or damaged. So I'm going to do, instead of trying to figure this out with the calibration, I'm just going to remove the key, and check. Are there any burrs, anything like that would mess up with the plate there? Not sure, I don't see anything. Gonna clean, just clean again. Now I'm going to put the key back in place, press forward and down, and tighten. Now you saw like when I wiggled it, it did wiggle a little. I could have loosened it, and then when I tightened by hand, I could have thrown off the calibration and the setment. So now I'm gonna put this back in, tighten, and now let's check red button. Okay, and turn a little. So it's red then green, barely. Red then green. Red then green. And out here. Okay. Cool, so now when I checked 1, 2, 3 points in the cutting area, it's red, then green, red, then green, red, then green. That's good, that's what we want. So now if I hit the red button again, and if I pull down here, I can see that it's gonna go right around, nice and smooth, constantly touching, good. So that's how we want to calibrate. So instead of trying to figure out and adjusting over and over, just take the keys out, clean, check them, visual ID, make sure, put them back in. And that was the problem, and I overcame that really quick by just resetting. So now if I was going to cut it, or if I get distracted and talking to someone else, again, I check the calibration. Calibration's good, 3 points, and I hit the black button and I would start cutting. So when I'm cutting, I'm going to only look at the tracer side. I'm going to drop down here, cut, and then back, cut, and backtrack, and I'm done. Take it out and flip it. So that's how I'm going to cut and work on a Honda key. Hope this video has been helpful, and I'll make more. Comment below if you have any of the keys in question. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.